On that note, Jim, what do you want everyone to go do?
Go listen to the telepathy tapes, first of all, and
No,
bring
no,
your
no, no,
stuff.
no, no, no. Stop. You want everyone
Yep.
to like,
Oh, yeah.
follow, and share. Let's try this again.
Hey,
All right?
Yep.
Jim,
go for it.
what do you want everyone to do?
Oh, you know what I would really like, Jason? I would really like for everybody just to give us a like, share us with a friend if you think any of our conversations are interesting, and subscribe. We're still waiting for number 53. Come on, number 53. You got it. Come on.
That's
big
so
next
fucking
man.
sad.
We're fine. We're old guys. We got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dad Religion Podcast. I'm Jason. That's Jimmy Buns to my left or right,
Oh,
depending on how you are looking at the screen.
Is this
How
going
you
to
doing?
stick? Is that what's going to happen now? Jimmy Buns? Oh, man.
Jimmy
You know how long I've been
Buns.
trying to get away from that? Oh, Lord.
That's your mafia name.
Huh.
Hey, yo, it's me, Jimmy Buns.
Uh,
I'm walking here.
I'm a billboard. What's happening? Come on.
I'm walking here.
You're a little tense, bro. What's happening?
Man, is this therapy or what?
It might be. It might be. That's why
I'm a
we
little
started it.
annoyed. I think us as men and husbands and fathers, and you know what? This is Mother's Day. I shouldn't even be talking about this. I could get killed for this. But happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. All of maybe
For
7
real.
that listen, maybe 8.
Yeah.
But I
Your
feel
mama.
like as
Your mama.
men, we are, I feel that so much is dependent on us that our family feels that they don't have to, what's the word I'm looking for? How can I say this politically correct? Like today, like my daughter wanted shelves put up in her room, which I would have gladly done, but I asked her for a few things in return, and it was like a struggle. And to me, it's just one of those days, bro. Maybe I got menopause. I don't know, but
I'm thinking the menopause is hitting you hard, bro. I feel you though. You're coming to the right
it's
place. You're coming to a friendly audience.
it's
for
it's
sure.
just one of those days, dude. I mean, like when you go back to men's mental health, it's all mental health, man.
What are you doing to help you with that aggro that you're feeling?
I've been working out. I've been working out a lot.
Oh, no, I'll do it.
I've lost a few pounds. I'm leaning out a little bit. I've just been putting my headphones in, going to the gym, listen to a podcast. If I don't go to the gym, I'll go on a jog or a walk. I cleaned the garage today. That keeps my mind off it. I do
Yeah.
stuff to keep my mind off it, which is also not 100% healthy. You know what I mean? You should talk to someone about it. 95% of men go through this.
I think 90% of the good men out there go through this, Jason, because we give a shit about what our wives and daughters actually think and what they want, and so get frustrated when we want to give that to them and we don't get complete cooperation. There's a lot of other dudes out there that are just, well, fuck you then, and throws the shelves out the window, kind of shit. It's cool. It's all right to get frustrated. And you know what though? Kids are gonna be kids and they're gonna be dicks. And our spouses and us, we're all gonna have moments where we're selfish. When we're the only guy in the house, like you and I are, you try hard. We try hard to keep them happy. We do. And it's not, you know what? We love them. We want them to be happy. But that's why it's sharp when you feel like you don't get cooperation and those kinds of things. You saw the video that I made. Our whole family's gonna be moving, and so I made a 6-minute video on how to pack because someone does not want to carry a deep box full of books and shit. So I let them
It
know
was
how I
kind of
wanted it done.
psychotic. You're like, get boxes that already have padding in it, and then you're gonna do a mixed box. And then, because the clothes all the trinkets are gonna get wrapped in the clothes, and it was very calm. I loved it, but I was scared of it all at the same time. I didn't know what to think.
Did it make you feel uneasy? Yeah, I hope it made him feel a little uneasy. Like, damn, fuck, we should do that then. This is Dad. Dad, you all right?
Yeah.
Pop, you good?
I
Good, Pop?
I see
good.
myself
I'm good.
leaving
Yeah.
it. Are you sure? You good? I see myself moving in the next couple years, so I'm gonna hire you
Awesome.
to
Yeah, cool.
help me
I'm gonna
move.
make more. I'm gonna make more more of those videos. So hey, check it out.
Awesome.
I had a great conversation this weekend, Jason. We had my niece and her husband Ryan over, my niece Lindsay and her husband Ryan over because they recently first time as a married couple. That was their wedding that we went to Seattle for, and Ryan is a physicist, so I got to talk to him about everything from the in and out supply chain and how they don't outgrow their supply chain to why the James Webb Telescope is telling us that there's galaxies out there before there should be galaxies out there. I had a great conversation about how time might work differently in different parts of the universe. It's really fascinating. And so anyway, I just want to let you know we've got a physicist at hand. If we ever have any questions about that kind of shit, we can pose a question to him, and I'll bet you anything he'll make a video for us and we can post it up. Maybe even
Oh, what?
sometime come on.
Yeah, why ask him a question, not in person when we can just ask
Yeah,
him a question in
the only
person?
reason the only reason why you would do that is because he's super busy and he may not be able to clear schedule, and he's right now just getting hired. He might be getting hired on at General Atomic. Mild job, you know. But
So they're in San Diego then.
yes, they are in San Diego. It was fun. We got to talk about science fiction, got to talk about, like, Marvel and Star Wars, and it was just like I was telling you before, bro, how important the imagination is when it comes to science. That's the key. It's the craziness to think of something way out ahead of the curve and then work your way backwards from it. Anyway, so in that vein, we should probably return to
Yeah.
our topic from last week that we said we were going to. So you and I both listened to most of the second season, right?
Hmm.
Most of it. Mm,
I've
would you
got
say about
I've gone through about 6 episodes total,
yeah, yeah.
but that's fine.
So yeah, I kind of felt like the whole thing kind of turned. It like the podcast itself seemed to have one through line in the first season, and then it broadened for the second season. And I'm not saying that it wasn't, compelling, like, some of it was, like, super, super interesting. All the commonalities that you do hear from these different places of what an afterlife might look like or what they see when they're away from their consciousness, I found really, really fascinating. But it began to be more than I can get my head around in a couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm gonna change my whole mind based on 2 seasons of a podcast, but, dude, X-Files, baby. I wanna believe, I really do. I'm open.
Also, the telepathy tapes, as we all know, was about nonverbal autistic children and young adults who, could speak telepathically to each other. They went to the hill where they all the gathering spot where they all came, and they all spoke to each other, and they could read their parents' minds. They knew if their mom was reading a book, they could see exactly what she was reading.
Real
Anyways,
quick, Jason, expand on what the hill is, like, because it's not a physical place, right?
no,
It's
it's
not
not a
like
physical
y
place. It's a place where you can go, I guess I'd say in your mind, where you could talk to people who are not uh, in the same room, in the same area code, in the same state, and they all
mhm,
gather there. They're all mostly 99% of them are nonverbal. There was an episode in there when a regular gentleman was able to get into there. But
mhm,
yeah, it's a place where they all go to speak, all the nonverbal autistic uh, young adults. And this season kind of expands on it, but in a different way. They bring season one back in a few episodes here and there,
they do.
but
Yeah,
it talks
especially
about
reoccurring characters, yeah,
yeah, it talks about mediums. It talks about psychedelics, like ayahuasca. It goes
mhm.
into. I watched that documentary, "The Lost Children," I believe it's called. It's on
Oh,
Netflix. You should check it out.
you're talking
It's
about the ones
about
in the
those.
Brazilian.
Yes,
Yeah,
in the Amazon jungle. There's 4 kids in the Amazon jungle. They were lost for, was it
2 months?
2 months? Yeah, 60 days,
Yeah,
along with a 1 year old. It was like a 1 year
unbelievable,
old, a 6 year old, an 11 year old, and like a 14 year old. And their
crazy,
plane
just
crashed.
crazy.
Their mom died. Someone else died, and they were all alone in the Amazon jungle, and they could not find these kids. Like the military was going out for 2 months, couldn't find them. And then the shaman from this local tribe
Mhm,
took some ayahuasca, and he was able to see them because he became one with the jungle. And he he ended up telling the military where to look, and they found him that day. After
Yep.
looking for 2
Yeah.
months, exhausting all kinds of resources, excuse me, and, it talks about that, it talks about, Alzheimer's, how okay, so there was this gentleman in there who his wife, she had, Alzheimer's or
He
dementia,
was
I can't
young.
remember which one it
Yep.
was.
Like
She
in the
was
early 50s.
51.
Yeah.
She was 51, I believe, and he couldn't get her on the toilet. It'd take an hour to get him on the toilet or get her in the car because she
Yep.
just wouldn't do it.
Yep.
And one day he was laying next to her in bed. She was sound asleep. And he was laying there and he said in his mind, okay, now this sounds crazy. So bear with me. He said, I wish there was some way I could talk to you so you'd understand me. And he heard back in his head, well, then just talk to me. And then he was like, oh, that's crazy. So he's like, okay, he's like, how do I get you on the toilet? And he's saying all this in his head. And I guess her, what did they call it? Her higher self, I believe they said it was. It wasn't her
Yes.
speaking, it was her higher
Yeah.
self speaking
The
and
the
told
part that we would call the soul, if, speaking in religious parlance.
yeah, so she told him, you need to turn me this way, put me over here on this way, and then, yada, 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 and give him everything. So I guess he was all excited. He got up the next morning. When it was time to get her into the bath to use the bathroom, he did exactly what the voice told him, which was her voice. And she was 30 seconds, she was on the toilet, which usually took an hour. Same thing. He asked her the next that same day, that same night, how do I get you in the car? And he did it exactly what she said, and within 30 seconds, she was in the car. So this gentleman supposedly has the gift to speak with people with dementia, Alzheimer's. It's not, I don't know 100%. Maybe you can help me out on this. 100% how to explain it, but he speaks to them
Yeah,
telepathically.
telepathically. In this in it would seems like exactly the same, um, you know, structural way that the um, nonverbal, autistic kids were speaking to each other and to their parents or to their mothers. Yeah, it's almost and the other similarity is that, he when he would be, like, in his home, going to see a specific patient, the other patients at the home would see him there
Yeah.
and, know right away that he's able to do that. That type of thing, Jason, is not unreported in history. It's not like, I mean, it's not normal, right? And that's why they call it paranormal, I think, part of the reason, but, it's not completely unique. There, going back thousands of years, you've got people talking about things that, can't be explained. A couple things that you missed in season 2. They did another one on communicating with plants. That came right before the
Yeah.
psychedelics one. So that was like a
Still,
transition. Right. I feel you on that, but it was interesting, and when you listen to it, like, in tandem or in conjunction with the psychedelics one, the guy was telling you that the plants talked to him, he actually spoke to the jungle and asked the jungle for permission to go and look for these kids, and that is very, very familiar in the shamanic tradition, to have that type of an experience. There was another tribe that I heard about one time and it's also an ayahuasca story, and it's a tribe that was so primitive that they had no number larger than 5. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 was everything more than 4. You know what I'm saying? That's how primitive they were in terms of their math. But they knew how to take one part of one plant on one side of the jungle and another part of another plant, another side of the jungle, each one taken on their own would either do nothing or kill them dead. And they knew the right amount to combine them to each other to give you a psychedelic experience like ayahuasca. I don't think this is exactly ayahuasca, but I think it's a cousin of it. And when the anthropologist asked them, what gives, they said, well, the plants sing to us. You know? So out of a landscape with, like, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different flora and fauna, These little people that can't count beyond 5 are gonna tell me that they could pick out that one little thing over there and this little one guy over here and put them together and create the perfect experience that takes them to a different psychological level and doesn't kill them dead. That how do we explain that if the plants aren't communicating with them, you know? I know I don't have an answer. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying that's the question that I would like to have answered.
No,
No, that one
that one is a little hard
is a
for me
little hard
to
for
believe.
the one that would be hard for you to believe would be the mind reading or the mind sight, where there's just a bunch of normal kids and normal people who are suddenly able to tell what color is on an Uno card and what the number is and read sentences. It was losing me at that point because I'm just like, I don't know. That just
How is that more hard to believe than the plants are communicating with you? Like, so hold on. I've never met
yeah,
a
yeah.
plant that could speak, you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
Or
no, no, no.
so a
Um,
kid being able to tell what's on the Uno card to me is a little more believable than a plant speaking to me.
to me, they're both in the same space, man. I mean, I'm ready to believe either of them. I just need to see more, you know? My question is how for both of them, and I wanna know why. I know what I saw or what, you know,
Well,
it's just huh.
to get the plants to speak to you, you got to be on ayahuasca.
They do, baby, they do, they do. You know what I thought was so this totally reminded me of, like, personal experiences that I've actually written about, Jason, and I told you in the last episode that I had even though I wouldn't call it a near-death experience myself, I had an experience that brought me near death because I got the shit hit out of me by a car when I was on a 10 speed. There was never any part of that experience where I felt that I left my consciousness. Immediately before I got hit, I did have a voice in my head that said, "Relax," but I'm pretty sure that was my own voice. But you know what reminded me more of a near-death experience? Is when I accidentally took 400 micrograms of LSD instead of 200 micrograms of LSD and had an absolutely ego-killing experience where I saw a light, I didn't know my name, whatever that consciousness felt the presence, I saw a light, saw himself in the casket, I saw myself in a casket, that is weird, and that what's bizarre is that I can remember it with such detail to this day, you know? And that rings more like what I hear when people talk about near-death experiences and seeing people from the past and seeing people that are dead, and because that's what that experience was for me.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. How long were you tripping for?
Oh, it was probably a 6-hour run of,
Okay,
like,
that's a good
6
one.
hours where with about 3.5 hours of, like, constantly peaking,
Peak?
just
Okay.
peaking after peaking, and, what happened was we went into a train tunnel because, the train goes by and it's, like, all this woo sensory stuff, and it's, like, crazy experience, but I was having a great time until then, and it was a social, recreational experience until that point, but once we went into the train tunnel and my senses all shut down and I had nothing but my head to go inside, oh my god, Jason, I walked through my whole life from the age of, like, 5 all the way until I was, well, it was probably, like, t 2 years of my life when my grandpa was still alive, and then as it was going along, I suddenly recognized when it was getting towards the end that he was going to be dead and that I was gonna actually see him in a casket, and I tried to stop it. Oh, you can never do that. The moment I tried to take control, I ended up seeing him in the casket. It was me. That was 30 years ago. I can remember it with, like I can tell you what the wildflowers smelt like, and I know that the bright light that I saw, when I opened my eyes, there was a shaft of light coming in between the branches of this tree that I was lying under. So I know what the light was. I know what the warmth was. I know all of this stuff, but it doesn't change that crazy experience, the psychological experience where I felt like I was visiting with people that had long been dead, and
I think that's a core memory because of what it
yeah,
affect so you're not gonna not remember that.
yeah.
Was it liquid or was it paper?
Paper. We thought that each piece of paper was one hit, although I
Okay.
suspect that one of the guys in the group knew and just he was the kinda guy that would fuck with you and give you more than you wanted. Not a nice man. But yeah,
What a
ended up
fucking
being
dick.
yeah, totally. You don't do that shit. 400
Uh,
micrograms. They call that a hero's journey, I think, you know? It's
yeah,
not
yep,
it's
yep.
not equivalent to 5 grams of mushrooms. So, when Paul Stamets is talking about, like, this connectivity and stuff, all man, I got all of that.
Yeah, I think, when it comes to psychedelics, I think they are, if they're not abused, because I actually know someone who would abuse them, but I think that they're good.
Yeah?
I mean, and like microdosing and stuff like that, I think all that is good. I don't do it. I probably should. It may be good for my mental health, but I think they're good
So
in small doses. You know what I mean?
what they discussed actually in the psychedelic episode that, about, like, PTSD that I thought was extremely interesting, Jason, was that it wasn't microdosing that they recommended. It was an ego killer. It was like you take a but that you don't just go and willy-nilly, take 5 grams of mushrooms and trip balls. You don't do that. You work with a therapist, both in the build up to it and in the integration afterward. And when you take the ego killing amount of, the mescaline or or mushrooms or the ayahuasca or LSD. It's like a spring ice breaking up and just coming through and absolutely changing the whole course of the river. It's just and you only have to do it once. But if you don't do it like that, if you don't build up to it, if you're not working with a therapist, if you don't have somebody there to help you to integrate it, then it's just a trip. It's a party. Not the same thing. You don't get the same benefit.
I don't think ayahuasca is a party for anybody, no matter what.
No, no, you're right. No, the ayahuasca probably not. No, ayahuasca
I think
would
every one of those is an ego killer. I've heard
yeah,
multiple
yeah,
stories.
I've heard
Who
about
was
that
it?
too.
It was, oh, Ron White. Yeah, he
Ronald,
went and
yeah,
did it.
yeah.
He quit drinking. He quit smoking
Drinking, yep,
afterwards, and all that guy did was drink and smoke. He's like, it changed my life.
yeah.
He went to like Brazil or something and did it.
So, yeah, I went through a period of time, Jason, where I did a lot of research on this, and I actually did do the microdose for a while, and I've not done, like, the big dose like I did 30 years ago, although I'm not opposed to it, but I just would wanna do it in the right setting. But, uh the idea that this could be something that could help sent me down the rabbit hole, and I read, you know, 6 or 7 books, and a lot of it was some of it was Paul Stamen. A great metaphor that I heard was, like, you imagine that, like, you get the first snow of the year, say you're out in the country, right? And the first snowmobile that goes over makes one set of tracks on the way, and you can see it's this perfect set of tracks, right? And then the next one kinda falls into that groove, and the next one and pretty soon, there's just this groove where every time anyone gets on their snowmobile, they just kinda fall into that same groove. What the psychedelics do is they get you up out of the groove and get you back into fresh snow and open up new pathways. That's the metaphor that I heard.
I think I'm a firm believer in that. I haven't done any of that in a while. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
Well, do the research though. There's ways to do it legally now, and you don't and, with people that know what they're doing.
I think you just want someone to be comfortable around. I mean, I don't think you need anyone who is like to microdose. Why? I don't think you need any help.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
know,
no.
because it doesn't really, you don't
Well,
really trip when you microdose. You know what I mean?
it's more for the bit well, you kind of do. I mean, anything under a gram is considered a microdose when you're doing mushrooms, and you could take, like, 0.95 grams of mushrooms and see plenty, but when you do the larger amount and you've already worked with a therapist ahead of time, so they know what you're trying to gain from this experience. And while you're in that setting, they can help lead you to the places your mind doesn't allow you to because it's afraid to. That's where you go to relieve the trauma. You have to go to those places. I mean, probably a lot of crying. It's intense. But then once you've been there, you work your way out of it, you're being decompressed again and you're being integrated. It's from what I've heard, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, those types of ailments, it's a miracle. It really is a miracle. It changes people permanently with one try.
Yeah. I to button it up. I will say that everyone go and listen to the telepathy tapes. Number one,
Definitely
make your own
listen.
decision. Make your own
Yep.
decision on what you think. It's really interesting. It's really, you got to pay attention though. Like get in a place where you can, even if you're listening like 20 minutes at a time, if you're distracted, you'll miss some stuff. Number two, go microdose, says Jim. Jim wants you to go do all kinds of psychedelic
No, he
drugs.
does not.
He
Jim
wants you to
Durkin
go
Pop.
do a hero's dose. He wants you to go do an eagle killer. He wants you to go do a lot of mushrooms and a lot of liquid LSD. Wait, no, that's not what you said. Sorry, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. I
well,
misunderstood you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
that
But
religion does not that religion does not sponsor the use of drugs, and think that any kind of psychedelic should be done only in a legal setting.
so we wrap it up for the day. I think
It
we're
was a
at
very
a
interesting
nice.
conversation, and it was a very interesting topic, Jason. Again, thank your niece Tiffany. I really enjoyed it. If
I
nothing
think I
else.
got her to listen. I think I got her to listen. I sent it to her.
Oh,
Tiff, if
really?
you're listening, raise your hand.
Uh, uh,
Um,
yeah.
I know my brother, he passed away 2 years now, 2 years in July, and she was watching it, and I guess my her daughter thought I was her grandfather because we looked
Really?
so much alike.
You
Yeah,
guys do
very
the dudes in
sad.
your family do have that, huh?
It's very
Oh,
sad.
but she really like thought that was. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jay.
Papa.
Sorry,
But
Tiffany.
anyways,
That was.
we're not gonna end this on a sad note. God damn it.
Uh, uh,
On that note, Jim, what do you
yep.
want everyone to go do?
Go listen to the telepathy tapes. First of all, and
No,
bring
no,
your
no, no,
skeptic.
no, no, no. Stop, stop,
Yep.
stop, stop, stop. You want
Yep.
everyone to like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
follow, and share. Let's try this again.
Please.
All right.
Yep.
Jim,
Go for it.
what do you want
Hmm.
everyone to do?
Oh, you know what I would really like, Jason? I would really like for everybody just to give us a like, share us with a friend if you think any of our conversations are interesting, and subscribe. We're still waiting for number 53. Come on, number 53. You got it. Come
Oh,
on,
that's
big
so
connected
fucking
man.
sad.
Come on. We're fine. We're old guys. We got this. This is fun. It's fun. It's our therapy.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful week and
Yes.
go out there and you know what? Change the world.
Yeah. To my lovely wife, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for making me a dad, and you've been the best mom. Love you.
God
And to
damn
my
it, dude.
mom, my mother-in-law passed away. Love you guys.
Thank you for
Hard,
all
these
the
are hard
women in
days.
my life, all the mothers. Thank you to my wife, my sisters, and my mama. Love you all.
Word, word, word. Jason, have a great week, bro.
You too, man. Peace.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later.